This conference will now be recorded.
The town board will hold a public meeting beginning at 7 p.m. on Monday, November 21st, 2022 at the town hall at 4058 County Road. And you can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. We have a quorum present. The meeting was posted at the town hall and on the website. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll stand for the flag pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You have the minutes of the November 7th meeting in your packet.
Move approval as presented.
Second. Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve the minutes for November 7th as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Here's the closed session, just ignore the bottom line on it. It's a carryover from the last one.
Okay.
Haven't been approved yet.
I'll move approval of the minutes and that they stay closed.
Second.
Motion by Duplay, second by Williams to approve the minutes and keep them closed until the matter is resolved. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Finance report and approval of bills.
I'll move approval of checks number 35,842 through 35,895 be paid.
Motion by Duplay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fonger to approve checks 35,842 through 35,895 be paid. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. You also have in the packet the unaudited cash and investment balance of $2,234,750.70. And you have the October building permits.
Motion to approve the building permits as presented.
Motion by Anders. Second by Duplay to approve the October building permits as presented. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And then you have the October court docket report at the end.
There's a big difference in solar costs. One was $10,000 project, the other one was $50,000.
Whoa.
That's what the building inspector is always telling me, that there's a big difference in who you go with.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then an $81,000 re-roof.
Must be a big roof.
That had to be something bad. And I still haven't seen my building permit.
All right.
Who was your contractor again?
Who was it now? It was all the way back in September.
I think I took a note about it last time and I couldn't go my reading, so I didn't look check on
Per
it.
diems will be due December 2nd. That's the Friday before. Next item is public concerns. Public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that's not a specific agenda item. Anyone online?
Just
No.
us.
All right. Next item is review the October police activities.
Don't have much for you. 192 calls in October. Those are initiated from deputies or being dispatched. I think the contract deputies took 113 of them. Speeding high this month was only 95 and a 55.
Oh,
Those are the ones that stopped. You're still seeing the average speeds in 35 mile an hour, 45. Those are still kind of remaining the same. People doing almost 20 over in most of the zones that are stopped and cited. Anytime the department posts any sort of media information, frauds go up. So we've had a lot of frauds with people pretending to be Lieutenant Triggs. So they sometimes believe him because he is a real person, he's a real lieutenant, but it goes to, a phony number and say you have a warrant and we're coming for you for money. So just make sure you tell everybody that if you've got a warrant, the police are not going to tell you about it. They're just going to show up.
Yeah.
Other than that, I
It's
think
hard to believe they still get people on it. So.
the last one we found, not in the town anyway, the last one I found was 35,000 somebody got scammed out of. So other than that, obviously an increase in car versus deer calls. So we'll see a lot of those. Other than that, I don't have much more for you.
The
Questions or anything?
the difference between calls for service for traffic stops
Mhm.
versus the citations, is that they're too close to,
I mean, like the traffic stops says 59 stops were initiated through October for all of us.
and speeding in the 35 or 55 mile an hour zone was 28.
Which one are you looking at? Most of the, so I see that 128, and then if you do the second page where it says speeding at 55 is only 2, so we as contract deputies only stopped or only cited 2 cars for speeding in a 55 mile an hour zone. We mostly stay off of N and 12 and 18 and try and focus on the town roads. You've got traffic team and the regular deputies will sit out on 12 and 18, and those are the ones that are stopping most of the cars out there.
Okay.
They'll also be out there a lot of times when we have trainees, just because it's very easy pickings on 12 and 18. So you'll see a lot of the traffic guys out there a lot. So
Remember that, guys.
this is good insight. Normally we're Jen and I like sandpiper watching the stop signs. I've got a thing for following buses around and farm equipment, seeing if they'll pass it or illegally or anything like that. I just had one tonight, 55 on Philus Hope. So the people are out there cooking right along.
So went over today, we changed the filter and it wasn't too bad. But I noticed in the garage, maybe you go over sometime with the leaf blower and blow it out.
Oh, clean them out.
A lot of leaves have blown in this fall. Yep. And I told you we got the urinal fixed and I don't know of any other problems at this point in time over there.
We're gonna be doing the emergency lights too. When we're over there, so.
Oh,
Any mouse problems yet?
Not that I've noticed.
they got traps out all over.
Yeah, we haven't found any traps that have been hit yet. I think once we were retired with his dog, the doors are for the most part closed now, so mice get in. Other than that, we've been kind of focusing on parking, the $10 ticket for parking on the roadways. The plows can get through.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yep.
Have fun out there tonight.
Warmer than it was last night.
Next item. Discuss Kennedy Hills Homeowners Association responsibility for maintaining Outlot 1. Does everyone know what Outlot 1 is?
Yep.
Okay. And does the homeowners association know what they want to do with it?
Well, speaking informally, we haven't taken a poll of the neighborhood or anything like that, but just through discussions, I can tell you that we're trying to figure out a reasonable agreement to whatever the best way is of taking care of it. You know, our discussions last week with the gentleman, I forget your name, I apologize.
Dan.
Yeah. It seemed like y'all kind of already had a plan in place to, possibly be mowing that. I think from the conversation, Kim had mentioned, that's something that we want to talk about funding that. I'll tell you what, you guys have the equipment, the expertise, if you're willing to, and you have an estimate of what the annual cost might be. I mean, it's certainly something that we'd consider.
Do we charge for the other one?
Prefer. I can't remember either.
It's like-
It's per time.
Is it like 60 or something like that?
It's not much. It's basically to pay for the guy and the fuel.
Yeah, I think it's around, I think it
We
might be.
can't make money at it, so.
60 per time.
You're gonna get about zero pushback from us on that, $60.
That outlot is probably.
A lot
twice as
bigger.
big.
It's big.
Oh,
I mean,
it's 3-4 times the size of that pond up here, but I mean, that one we mow with the small mowers.
Yeah.
This one, we're gonna mow with the big one because there's no way
The new house.
it'll take us 5 hours to mow with a small mower. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll mow with a 14-footer. That way it doesn't take as long.
do you remember how long it took you that last time you did?
I stopped a lot because I had to move stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because we had a lot of stone and stuff back there, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think much more than an hour. I mean, really. An hour and a half, I don't know. It won't take that long. Especially now I know I've been over it once, so.
And then we'll have to figure out what the rental is for the machine and your hourly wage and send that
Yeah, we'll have to do like we did.
email to them to see
Yeah,
if that's acceptable, that they will pay for that. And you plan on doing it just twice a year,
probably 3. When I do like the ditch mowing, I'll do it then. So
3 times?
3, yeah.
I think that sounds great. There's certainly no rush on it. The only consideration is that we have to put forth our budget by the end of the calendar year. If you can think of something by then, that's great. But if not, we can put a placeholder in.
Yeah, I'll work on that tomorrow. Figure it out.
We appreciate that. Thanks, Don.
So is it just mowing that we need to talk about then?
Are you going to do the inspections
What inspections are we referring to?
on that the outflow, isn't it?
Yeah. Just gotta,
It's supposed to be looked at to make sure that it's still in place, that it hasn't silted in,
Sure.
and that
no excessive silt, no
it's really where
erosion.
it's supposed to flow.
Yeah,
It's in this agreement. You should have this agreement for maintenance.
I'll tell you that from what we've seen, rainfall looks, fairly insignificant. I don't even know if there's maybe in the future of a larger rainfall. I don't know that we'll ever have an issue with the rain even getting to the top of the first retention pond and going into the silted area. But in the event that it does, we'll do whatever we need to.
Okay.
Is that something that you've done for others?
yeah, so, well, I've been watching that one since it's been built.
Oh, okay.
So if you look in the large one, or the first one where it catches the water, there's a pipe low.
Yep, sure.
And that one will take water to that filtration area.
Sure.
It
Quite
looks like
early.
it had a cover on it though to me.
It's got like a baffle thing.
Okay.
It's to take the water in slow
Okay.
kind of thing.
Right.
But that 2-inch rain or 2.5-inch rainfall we had, it was actually running out the pipe by county BB. It's not fast, but I mean, it was doing what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, good to hear it's doing the trick then. I guess as far as the additional stuff, Dan, I don't know if that's something that you have, experience or desire or ability to do. I mean, if we're talking about some sort of collective, kind of fee structure for this, I mean, we're happy to consider anything in that.
I think Vinnie's, they do their own
You want to see the.
at Vinnie's.
Do you have a copy of this to see what all the?
I mean, I didn't get one for tonight, no, but I do have one of these in my office for, Nick gave me one for what to look for.
Yeah.
I think Vinnie's, they actually monitor theirs, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we really, this is new to us too. We don't have a lot of retention ponds yet, so.
Okay. Well, working together to find a solution is what we're here for. So, I mean, anything that's reasonable, we're on board with.
Which one are you?
Jared.
Remember for the minutes.
Sure. Last name is Boucher.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I obviously watch them all anyway. I mean.
Well, I back up to one. I'm one of the two houses that overlooks, so I noticed stuff too. I didn't notice that it got full enough to go to that drain to BV, I guess, but unless,
So in the filtration pond areas, so
Yeah.
the ones with the natural grasses in it.
Yeah.
You won't see the water in there because it's gonna sift through there nice and slow.
oh, see, I was thinking it went up to that
Nope.
inlet thing that is
Yeah.
really high. That's
No.
probably an emergency spill off.
It won't do that unless we get a flood.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it'll sift through there real slow, then it'll slowly drain out.
Okay.
But on the real hard rains, like, when we get a day rain of like 2.5 inches, just
Mhm.
walk over there and you'll see it. It'll be
Okay.
sifting out of there. And that's what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
But I would say it'd be good for your guys' homeowner association though, if you guys like did an annual report on it every year. That's, I think, what Vinnie's said they were gonna do.
Have you guys seen one of those?
I'm not.
I don't even think it's, I mean, it's.
Do they do it themselves or do they
Yeah.
contract it out?
No, it's just something they do themselves. So they go and do a
Oh.
visual, it's just a visual inspection.
Okay.
Basically, and you look to see if anything, like, I'll go through the list of what it tells you to look for, and, I mean, that's basically all you write down and just keep track of it, basically. Because then what is it, every so many years of silting, it's gonna be cleaned out, but, I mean, it's a long time. It's not like,
Well, if it raises 2 feet, then it has to be
well,
clean.
like I said, it takes a long time. Because that, I mean, that'll take 60 years probably.
Underline some of the things that you might want to really
Sure.
Put a staff
watch for, but you can have that.
I appreciate that.
I feel like we could just, I was gonna say, Steve.
So you get them something and,
Just cost it for mowing.
and let Kim know when you want to come back and have that
Sure.
approved or
Okay.
negotiated settlement to it, whatever. And we'll go from there before next spring.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Okay,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
all righty. I think we're done with Josh. We don't,
Sounds good.
Jake. Okay, buddy.
let's see, then we got the consideration of refunding the as-built value of the trails as a credit against the initial parkland improvement fees as per the Kenyon Hills Phase 1 Developers Agreement.
If you can follow what I gave you there, the closing, we have closing documents that came, so let me back up. The developers agreement said that that $2,000 fee or whatever was left of it after the credit for the park, for the
Building of it.
building of it was supposed to be charged to the homeowners when a building permit was taken out. And it also said that the developer could have paid early at any time. So what the developer did was paid it at closing. And it does show in the closing documents, it's on the developer or the seller's side of things. So the seller paid it, so he'll get it back. And so then he did provide, in your packet, you've got copies of his costs and checks and invoices and everything to show what he paid. And Nick, our engineer, did recommend that you approve that. And so based on that, I would be refunding $10,952.67 to Kennedy Hills LLC. That leaves $21,047.33 left from the fees from those.
So we can spend on park equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. And I take it you haven't gotten a price list yet
We haven't gotten, I haven't seen a catalog yet for 23.
Ask again, I guess.
Should be getting one soon because they usually want orders.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject, but have you heard anything from Lee as to when they're going to install?
Not since 2 weeks ago. They said they called the day before they showed up. He hasn't called yet. Called 2 weeks ago and said there'd be any time now. They just did the village's big project.
I know.
Are you guys talking about an installer contractor or something?
Yeah, they're gonna be putting a zip line in one of the parks. That got approved last year, so.
Kind of interestingly, and I think Tony might have slipped this into one of the emails to you, Kim. His company actually was contracted out to basically demo a park in Madison. So all of us, and we grabbed a couple other people that live in our block as well, helped them kind of try to do that. And we actually grabbed a few pieces, potentially more than that we felt we could actually reinstall in the park to try to cut cost, on the park plan. So I know we had talked about $40,000 placeholder, and the projection of a park was quite a bit more than that. So we kind of, it's interesting you say, like, there was basically a slider piece that we grabbed that we felt we could probably somewhat easily install again. It's kind of like a swing post and a couple other things like a mini climbing wall. The park itself it'll be interesting if we can get that back up. Honestly, I had to cut some pieces, but I was curious, and the reason I ask is because, if it's like, could we add pieces to it? I know from looking at that parks report, it looked like there was a lot of stuff donated at some of the existing parks. Different pieces of different vintage. We were just curious, we just took it as an opportunity to be somewhat proactive on it if, we were running up against whatever funding we would have, and maybe make it, slightly bigger, just took a morning. So just kind of curious. I mean, it wouldn't match whatever would be in the catalog likely. I think it's pretty much red. We could always paint the posts, but I was just curious. I think Tony had sent some pictures over, Kim, kind of on the bottom of that one email.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
Okay.
Too in depth in that, but okay.
I know I was involved in one of the parks out there.
Cedar Knoll.
Yeah, Cedar Knolls. So.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that kind of has I don't want to call it a hodgepodge, but different pieces that are,
Actually,
different vintage.
Actually, it's
Different
built,
ages.
Different ages, exactly,
so
yeah.
actually, it's built wrong, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
The roof is on wrong.
Well, we won't take notes from that one then. But yeah, so we were kind of curious, it's like no guarantees. We just figured, knowing we wouldn't get formal approval yet, but Tony's basically storing it somewhere kind of in the interim, and try to use it if we can.
I guess we would have to look at it
Okay.
and determine that our liability
Sure.
isn't going to be hanging out there if we do allow it to be put up.
Okay. Well, then it's probably maybe specifically the few pieces that are, I guess, more intact, we'll call it. But okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Did you just send a picture before it was taken apart? Is that
Correct.
what oh, okay.
Yep.
I can put this up on the screen.
Yeah, if you want to. This was the park prior to Saturday morning that you would see.
Your park or the other one? Or
No, where they took.
This is actually, it was off East Wash outside the Salvation Army building. So I'll just kind of point out if you could see this. So we took this whole thing down. We were able to basically fully pull up this little climbing wall jungle gym structure and retain the post. He actually had an excavator from his company. We were able to pull it out of the ground whole. I don't know if there was another view as well, but there's basically one of those sliding pieces. It would be on this side of climbing wall. Maybe we don't have a picture of that, but similarly, that we actually literally unbolted the slider part and took out the posts hole as well. There were 3 of them in line, basically. So just,
You got all the posts out of the ground then?
With cement.
we did with cement.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa, that's major.
That's, yeah, that was a.
I would like to say I'm strong, but it was the excavator that did most of it.
And depending on what pieces we keep, we'll have to, I guess, as we get that catalog and walk through budgets, we'll have to supplement some of the posts because not everything is perfect, shall we say. But I think it gives us opportunities to
Oh, yeah.
hopefully save.
Some of
maybe we
this
can-
stuff. Yep.
Sure. Okay. So back dealing with the 10,952.67, is there a motion to refund that to the developer?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Duplace, second by Williams to refund the $10,952.67 that the developer paid for the parkland improvements to Kennedy Hill. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, consideration of town attorney's advice regarding proposed updated agreement for the Deer Grove EMS district. And you're gonna bring that up on the screen.
So I thank you all again for your time.
Thank you. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Take care.
So I'll have to maybe read these comments to you too, but unfortunately, the copy that I printed for you, I didn't put the comments printing. So the first comment that he has is on, the pages aren't numbered either, but the page, it starts with agreement at the top.
Yeah.
And he's got the by, from to by. And he says 2 members are appointed by each municipality, not simply that they must be residents of each municipality, is what he means by that.
Okay.
All right, then the next one. Red line is not until you get to the contracting with third-party municipalities. And here, oops, this one. Ownership of, ownership of. assets.
6.02.
He's got, he has a note though about 5.02, the equity of municipalities. He said this would mean each municipality's equity is going to change over time based on relative changes in equalized value. This formula favors faster growing communities and likely disfavors the town. An alternative would be to determine equity based on the prior contributions of each municipality made per section 4.03.
That would make
That was
sense.
5.2, right? Not 5.02.
5.02,
Right.
equity of municipalities. So 4.03.
Agree with his conclusion?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then in the budget apportionment section down below, he crossed out some stuff and then just said determined by the commission. He said, as written, a contracted entity would receive service based on the same formula charged to party municipalities, despite the fact that the contracted municipalities have no equity in the district and have not contributed the costs necessary to build the district and procure all of its equipment, etc. Generally, contracted entities should pay at some rate higher than non-member entities.
I agree with that.
And is that in section?
6.02. That's his comment, where he crossed out everything and said determined by the commission. That was his comment to that one.
But he didn't define the funding formula, did he?
No, he said.
No, he didn't. He left
He
it up
said that
to,
would be up to the
Determined by the
commission.
commission.
right. Which makes sense.
Hey, chief, how much time are we spending over in Cambridge nowadays?
Once a week.
On a call or
Just on
specifically just
Just on
manning?
mutual aid,
Huh?
just mutual aid. We're not actually
Oh,
covering
okay.
for them
All
anymore.
right.
As a point of reference, 5.02 is unedited from the previous version. That's brought over from the past one.
5.02 or 5.2?
Well, it's whatever, 5.2 or 5.02, but 5.02 is brought over from the previous version.
His comment was on 5.02 above that says equity of the municipalities. That was the one where he said that the current funding formula, in other words, or the current language, he's saying means the municipality's equity is going to change over time based on relative changes in equalized value. This formula favors faster growing communities and would likely disfavor the town. And he said an alternative would be to determine equity based on the prior contributions of each municipality made per section 4.03.
And all I was referencing is this is the language we've been working under for the
Yeah.
past 10 years.
Yeah.
This is unchanged from anybody else.
Okay.
All right, then the next thing he has a comment on is at the bottom there where it says withdrawal from district. He's highlighted the end of any fiscal year of the district, and he said whether or not this is sufficient notice depends on when the district's fiscal year ends. The fiscal year of the district should be stated in the agreement.
Yeah, it's December 31st.
Yeah. The next red line he has on the next page under item D, he does not have any comments to that.
Okay.
Then at the top of the next page,
And 6.01 is exactly the same from the current agreement as well.
well, he redlined it. No, it's 01, you're right. And 02.
2.02.
Yeah, he didn't have any comments on 01, but he did on 02.
It's a change. So withdrawal from the district, then it's go down. This, in the old agreement was 6.01. It is now 7.01. It's exactly the same from the 2012 agreement to this.
Yeah.
And that's because section 7 got added and that wasn't in the previous agreement on how to make a formula for contracting with.
Okay, so then at the top of the page, just above 9 point, well, here it says 03, but 9. I see why you guys keep saying 5.3, because in this document it's 3 and on here it's 03. It's like, why do they keep saying that? Okay.
Did you review the right document?
Yeah, I mean, the one he emailed me has 9.3, but the one on the screen says 9.03. So I don't know, his numbering changed somewhere along the line here. But he sent me a Word document, not a PDF, and so that happens. Right above 9.3, that section, item C, that says the expense of the mediator shall be divided equally between the municipalities. He highlighted equally between the municipalities, and he said with 3 municipalities, this would mean each would pay 1/3 of the expense as opposed to based on the funding formula. This would presumably disadvantage the town. I would have to pay 1/3 of the cost of any dispute, but would not be entitled to 1/3 of the value of it, of what is in the dispute.
And this is exactly like what's in the 2012 version, just for reference.
Okay.
Okay, and then down under 9.3, the second to the last sentence says each municipality shall bear equal costs of any arbitration proceeding, and then he just says, see print
Same thing.
on that, okay?
Mhm.
And then down in 9.5, he crossed out the expense of the arbitrators, and he said redundant with the second to last sentence of section 9.3. And then down below where he talks about attaching exhibit A, the new language, there's no comments related to that.
Okay.
And then all the comments. Yeah.
Where is he at tonight?
We didn't ask him to come.
No, he couldn't have been on TV or
He wasn't asked.
I didn't ask him.
no.
I guess my thoughts would be that we would forward what she has on the screen to Deerfield and tell them these were the comments from our attorney. What are your thoughts? And because they'll meet next week and have them reply to us what their thoughts are on it. And if they agree with us or disagree, then we have Bill talk to, is it Larry?
That is
The village's attorney?
of Deerfield.
Right, no, Village Heights Road's
Oh.
attorney.
Okay, about it. And see what the two of them, could they come up after we know what?
It's already been approved at the village, so it's gonna have to go and be unapproved and reapproved. They can't just change verbiage.
It'll have to go back to the commission.
You saying the village is already approved?
Village has already approved it. I already have the signed version in my hand from the village.
That's okay.
How long ago was that?
A
Ago?
month.
Really? Interesting.
That's all right. We still have an agreement.
Understood. I guess this seems like a slowdown of the process, and why couldn't the attorney have reviewed it 2 months ago?
Did we have it too
We didn't have
much?
to, but-
Everything but the performance measures is what you had. You could have preliminarily reviewed everything but the performance measures.
That's my thought on it. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Where's the Village of Deerfield in the process, do you know?
Well, they haven't had a meeting since it was approved at the commission because of half of their board being out of town. I don't know if Greg was gonna send it to an attorney or not, but they haven't even been able to discuss it because they didn't have it and haven't had a meeting since.
I think it's wise to get moving on it, isn't it?
Well, like I said, I'd send it to Deerfield and know this was our attorney's
Yeah,
thoughts on it. We kind of agree with him.
okay.
What do they think about it? If they agree with us, then we have to go back to the village and
To the
see if,
commission, or I thought he's got it, don't you?
No, that's
No.
the original version before our attorney made the comments.
Okay.
So the village approved it and the two towns have not.
Correct.
correct.
Okay, well, we're not the only ones then.
No,
There must be a reason why they approved it so quick.
Because the village attorney drafted it.
Oh, there you go.
The majority of things he pointed out have been things that have been there for 10 years. The village didn't change any of those things on here.
and that's fine. And we now have a newer attorney than what we had 10 years ago.
Sure.
mean, I'm sure their attorney changed things that were in there for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
But they showed us and we all saw them and all went through them at the commission level already. There's, the village isn't trying to pull any fast ones over.
Nobody's saying that they are. This is just the response we have from our attorney looking out for the town only.
Understood.
When do you think this was originally sent to the town? Because
Well, we had a final version of the agreement that would have been in our September packet. That the final version of this agreement was approved. And maybe even August packet. And then we had to, as part of the final approval of the agreement, make performance measures. So there was no reason to make performance measures unless the rest of the agreement was going to be approved. So it was approved with very minor verbiage that Chris had pointed out. Then the performance measures were added.
okay, so it wasn't necessarily sent to me. It was just, I should have gotten it from the commission packet.
Well, I'm saying we had a finalized version that could have gone to the attorney if Chris had so chosen 2 months ago. But it is what it is.
Okay.
So send it to Deerfield.
Why, what?
Didn't it go sooner?
We didn't look at it here.
That was last month, right? Or 2 weeks ago?
It was first on your agenda 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when we didn't have the full final performance measures included until the very beginning of November.
Anyway,
Is that the plan or do you want something else?
No.
No, I think we should
There
do
can't
that.
be any other plan.
No, I think we should do as you suggested. Send it to Deerfield.
Right away. Don't move.
And wait for their comments.
Yeah, so move.
Mhm.
And then whichever way it goes, they either talk to,
We can't do anything with just us saying that we
No.
approve.
No.
So we have to get them to look at it. So get them to look at it.
What does their opinion matter?
okay,
What does their opinion matter?
Yeah, it's your township. What does the village of Deerfield's opinion matter?
We're one of three.
Yeah,
Well, we
I
don't
mean,
know if they sent it to their attorney or not.
We can't have three different iterations.
We're telling him that we sent it to ours. These were his comments. You like them or not, just tell us. If they don't like them and they like the way it's written,
They need to tell us.
then they need to tell us that.
well, so chances are they're probably putting it on their agenda.
It'll be on
anyway.
their agenda
For
for
next
Monday.
week.
They might as well know what the town of Cottage Grove saw.
Yeah.
Or, might as well add that to their,
Packet.
Discussion,
Yeah.
their discussion. It'll be a factor for their discussion.
If they approve it, then you'd approve it without change?
Won't matter what.
Then it comes back to us and
100% does matter. It needs all three communities'
Yeah.
approval to
Yeah.
pass it.
yeah, if they don't want to make any of the changes, then it comes back to us and we have to decide, are we going to sign it the way it is or not?
Is there a rush?
Well, it expires at the end of the year, so.
Nice
Yeah.
to get, just to get
Yeah,
it
it'd be
done.
nice to have it done, sure.
We've been working on it for
It
9
never
months.
expires,
We've got 2 more meetings, so.
But it never expires.
No,
It never expires.
I agree.
I'm not an attorney, I don't know.
It never expires.
the previous agreement won't expire until you make a new one.
So give me this again now. The commission, everybody sat down and said, this is cool 2 months ago.
At this point, Mike, the timeline doesn't matter.
With some. I
We've
don't know.
been dealing
You
with it all
guys voted
summer.
it out back to the communities. Is
Right.
basically all that you did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
did you want to have a motion for that or?
I think you made
Yeah,
it, and I seconded
Yeah.
it. That we.
Motion by Duplace, second by
Send it out to Deerfield. and get
sending
their
it to
comments.
Deerfield letting them know what our attorney's comments are and that we kind of agree with them. What are their thoughts on it?
Yeah.
Let us know before, as soon as they can.
Yeah, as soon as they can.
Before the 12/5 meeting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to take action.
Well, discussion, shouldn't this also go to the village?
Yeah, but he said the village signed up.
Well, who cares? I mean, it should,
If Deerfield doesn't want to make any changes, then it just comes back to us.
Because Deerfield, or the Village of Cottage Grove's attorney drafted the changes to begin with, so their attorney has been through it and through it and through it. You know, so,
But with intimate working from the commission, it's not like the village attorney just did what
right,
they
but I mean,
felt.
they've got the confidence that their attorney is with it.
Right. Whereas ours had never
I've
seen it.
not had it until now.
So there was a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then we want to set a date for our first town board meeting in January. Because the first, well, that's what I would say. The first is a Sunday, second is a Monday, which is a day that we will be closed.
Second.
And so the third would be the Tuesday, which I think would probably work better for everyone.
It's fine for me.
Fine for me.
sure.
Motion by Fogger, second by Williams to have the first meeting on the 3rd of January.
Sounds good.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Can I ask a question for clarification? Is that also the date then that people that are running for office in 2023 have to turn in their papers?
Tuesday,
Let
first
me see here, I just so happen to have mine.
Yeah. Clarification.
Yeah, January 3rd at
January
5 PM.
3rd. Okay. So then we'll be able to announce who's running for things that night.
Anybody running against you?
Don't know yet.
I got a month.
Okay, thank you.
We voted on that.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're at road right-of-way permits issued.
Got one, Frontier Communications. In the spring, they're gonna be running a new, I guess, new line, whatever you wanna say, whatever they have, phone line, I don't know.
New phone line from Frontier?
Yeah, through Gaston Circle subdivision in El Margo. They're gonna take it out of the air and put it underground.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So them poles will probably go bye-bye then.
That'll be nice.
Interesting.
That'd be up to Line Energy. I think they still have some stuff overhead up there, so
They probably won't.
they'll have to bury power someday up there, but that's the only one we've gotten, just other than them people asking for extensions that don't need it.
Okay.
But yeah, and then Public Works, we got our first plowing underway. It wasn't really plowing, it was just salting, but
Yeah.
we did have to remove drifts off the road all weekend, but
You did have to plow already?
yeah, we had Deerfield Road and Ridge Road were really drifting bad on Friday and Saturday, so with all that wind. Picked up all the snow in the open fields and it pushed it to the road. Basically. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, but other than that, we're servicing everything, getting everything cleaned up for the year. Got to put up some snow fence yet this week, as we're finding out. So that's where we're at.
Question.
Yes, I have a question. You said that some people are asking for extensions that don't really need it, and I remember you had mentioned something about.
Yeah, because on here, it asks you like estimated start date, estimated ending date. Well, they put that date on there. We don't. Right? So that's their determination when they think they're going to start the project to end the project. Well, they don't have to okay it with us if they want to move that date. Because I inspect it, I just keep inspecting it as long as it's open and they're still working. I still inspect their work. So, I mean, I kind of explained that when
You don't have an expiration date just
Yeah.
because they said they were going to be done. We're not expecting them to. Dan's just still watching it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be any problems if the ground freezes or anything?
Well, there always is, right? You have to come back in the fall or spring and Pretty good restoration, yeah. Nice stay on top of those.
Good.
So last Thursday, they ran the new line through conduit from the light pole to the sign
At the fire station?
at the fire station. So I imagine in the spring, you'll need to seed that and pick up the rocks.
Out front there? Okay,
They finally got that done.
okay. Yeah, that's easy.
I need you to tell them what you got.
We haven't got it yet. But our
It's here in the
our
state.
mower's in the state of Wisconsin, so it's at Stotts and Wanakee that we ordered in February.
In a crate.
It's in a crate, yeah, in Wanakee, so it's gotta be assembled yet. So,
Sweet, so next year, we'll wait till next year to get that report then, right?
well, no, it's supposed to be here next week, he said, so they're gonna.
What is it?
they're gonna- Our 10-foot mower,
Oh,
because we had sold our other mower, right, for ditch mowing, and this is our supplemental mower for end of the year mowing, so it goes quicker. And we hadn't got it yet. We figured we'd have it in August, and here we are. But that's the way everything's going right now.
Well, what can you do?
Yeah, so fingers crossed, we'll see it next week.
Okay. Clerk's office update.
No recount. Got the word
Yay!
today. We had, I think it was 2291 voters, 804 were absentee. So out of about 2,700 or so, so it's like 80-some%. But it all went really well, I thought. Christie was there and helped, and no problems, went really smooth. Badger books are just a godsend. They really are.
They are
No guns.
wonderful.
No,
right.
got in.
So,
You know,
No known guns.
Not that we know of.
so I'm glad that's over with, but I'm glad it went so smooth and the workers
just
seemed
need
to
to
all
know
feel the
these.
same way, that it went well, so.
It did. Everybody said that.
Yeah, and we had a couple of inspectors from the Elections Commission show up to inspect for accessibility, and they were very impressed. They really thought that space was great. You know, no, the only problem they had was we didn't have the curbside voter sign quite high enough. It's supposed to be 60 inches, but that was minor. They were pretty happy, so.
we'll raise her up next time.
How short word was it?
What's that?
How too short was it?
It's probably only at like 40, probably, I would imagine. 36 maybe.
And otherwise, no, it went really well.
60 seems really high. That's almost 6 feet off the ground.
It must
That's
be
5
for
feet.
5 feet,
monster
yeah.
truck drivers or something, I don't know.
The space does work really well.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
I thought it was, I mean, I only came in and voted, but it was smooth.
Well, we had a line first thing in the morning, and then we had a line up to 11:30, 11, right around
Noonish,
lunchtime.
yeah.
And then we had a line from about 4:30 to 6 maybe, and then nothing. I mean, I was thinking later, I should have went out and told them all, half of them to go home and come back, and they wouldn't have had to wait at all. But that was otherwise, there was a lot of the day and evening that you could just walk right in, so.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
It worked well.
Board reports and communications. The only thing that I'm aware of, the county is working on new addresses for Coparts and for Kurt Hansen's house up on the hill, because they lost their access to 12 and 18, so they have to get a new access. But everybody knows it, that you can't get there from their old.
They know that, right? The owners know that.
Has he acquired,
Owners know that.
has he acquired land yet from the guy on Opala?
I don't think he's gonna go there. I think he's gonna come off AB.
You're gonna let him? County's gonna say yeah? He was hoping they would, but he didn't think they would.
That furthest south roundabout.
Yep. Oh. That'd be nice.
And hopefully they were working on it today.
Good deal.
So
Otherwise,
Amazing to see how they build on things.
yeah, otherwise you was gonna have like a mile long driveway.
Committee reports, emergency government.
We had a meeting.
Yeah, it was
Met
good.
with the
They-
Tony was there.
We got everything out of there and they stripped the floor, which was a mess for the last few years. So that's, the whole place is, Dan helped get, in the crew, helped get everything back in there, and pretty good meeting. We had 2 reps from Dane County there and went through the stuff we need from them. And that's why it's not on the agenda tonight, because we're gonna wait until we can put that in the last couple of sections of our SOP. So there's no big hurry. So other than that, that's it.
Okay. Consider adopt a motion to move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85, parent E, for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, consideration of interviews, recommendation for hiring of town treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Duplace, second by Williams. Roll call.
Sharp.
Fonger, Andrews, Hampton, aye.
Aye.
Williams, Duplace.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. You're back in
8:30.
open session.
Okay.
I don't think there's any action that we have to take.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Duplace, second by Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We are adjourned. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Safe one if you're hunting.
Uh-huh.
Yeehaw.